Your legs are already moving before your brain catches up. The claws come down where your head was half a second ago. You feel the air from it. That's how close it is. You hit the dungeon wall shoulder first, push off, and keep moving. No plan, no formation, just don't stop. The moment you stop, you're dead. The other hunters are dead already. You saw it happen. 3 of them in the first 60 seconds. The creature? A B-rank shadow wolf. Something the raid leader swore was a C rank. Moved faster than anyone was ready for. First hunter didn't even have time to raise his shield. Second one tried to run. Third one tried to fight back. You ran. Not away from it, around it. You've been circling for 4 minutes now, drawing its attention, keeping it from finishing the 2 survivors, hiding behind the collapsed pillar in the back. Whatever mana you had, you burned through it in the first 30 seconds. And at the edge of your vision, something that has no business being there is blinking. A bar, thin and red and counting down towards something you don't have a name for yet. You don't know what it is. You just know what happens when it empties. What you have is speed. It lunges again. You drop low, slide under its reach, come up behind it and drive a knife into the base of its neck. Not deep enough to kill, deep enough to make it angry. It spins. You're already gone. You don't think about the dead hunters. You don't think about anything. You keep moving. You didn't end up here by accident, but to understand how an E rank ends up as the last thing standing between a B rank monster and 2 survivors, you have to go back 6 months. You were sitting in a white plastic chair in a government assessment center, staring at a number on a screen. E rank. The examiner didn't even look up when he said it, just stamped your form and slid it across the desk. The guy next to you got C rank. The woman behind you cried because she got B. You folded your form in half, put it in your pocket, and walked out into the rain. E rank meant you were barely above a civilian. No guild would touch you. Low-tier dungeon clearance, minimum wage gate labor, carrying equipment for hunters who actually mattered. You sat in your car for a long time. The rain got heavier. Most E ranks quit, take the government stipend, find a regular job, pretend the awakening never happened. Nobody blames them. The mortality rate for ungilded low-rank hunters is something nobody talks about in polite company. That's when it appeared. No warning, no sound, no explanation, just a single line of text floating in the air in front of you that nobody else could see. Then the numbers came. You looked around. People walked past on the sidewalk. Nobody stopped. Nobody stared. Nobody saw anything at all. You reached out. Your hand passed through it like it wasn't there. The numbers were real. You didn't understand the screen. You didn't understand why you could see it and nobody else could. You didn't know what any of it meant or why it had chosen you for it. But that number felt like something, like an answer to a question you hadn't asked yet. You looked at the ability points, 5 of them, sitting there waiting. Strength was 12, endurance was 11, intelligence was 10, agility was 74. The choice was easy. You put all 5 points into agility. You made a decision right there in the parking lot. Everything goes into speed. Nothing else matters. If you couldn't overpower anything, you'd never let anything touch you. That was 6 months ago. The shadow wolf lunges a 3rd time, and you move so fast, the 2 survivors behind the pillar didn't even see you. They just see the wolf miss, stumble, and take another knife to the throat. It drops to one knee. Its breathing is wrong now, labored. The wounds are adding up. You're not strong enough to kill it clean, but you've been cutting it for 4 minutes, and it's starting to slow down. The bar at the edge of your vision is still counting down. You don't know what to call it. You just know it's almost gone. 11%. You have maybe 2 minutes. You grip the last knife. Make it count. The last knife leaves your hand at an angle you didn't calculate consciously. Your body decided. Your mind just watched. It catches the shadow wolf in the throat. Deep this time. The creature drops to all 4s, then to its side. Its legs keep moving for a few seconds like it hasn't accepted what happened yet. Then they stop. Everything goes still. You stand there breathing. The 2 survivors behind the pillar don't move, don't speak. They're looking at you the way people look at something they can't explain. You don't explain it. You don't have the words. The bar at the edge of your vision stops blinking, and then something happens that has never happened before. It fills back up. Not slowly, all at once, like whatever was counting down just reversed. And then the screen appeared again. The same one from the parking lot 6 months ago, floating, silent, visible only to you. You don't hesitate. All 5 into agility. 15 points since the parking lot. For one fight, for surviving something that killed 3 hunters who outranked you. You don't understand the rules. You don't know who set them or why, but 15 points feels like something. You don't tell the survivors what you saw. You walk them to the gate exit and leave before they can ask your name. Outside, the afternoon light feels wrong after the dungeon dark. You sit on the curb for a while. Your hands aren't shaking. That's the part that unsettles you most. You should be in shock. 3 people died in front of you today. You almost died. You killed something that had no business being in a C-rank dungeon. Instead, you're thinking about the number 89. You pulled up the screen again. It comes when you focus, like a muscle you didn't know you had. Everything else is ordinary. Everything else is what the assessment center measured and stamped and filed away. But the assessment only ever measured one thing: mana output, combat potential on paper. It had no way to measure what was already in your body before the system found you. Agility is 89 now, and every point of that was a choice. Whatever the assessment missed, the system didn't. You close the screen, stand up, start walking. You need another dungeon. 3 days later, you clear an E-rank gate alone in 11 minutes. Base stat up. 5 points on top, all into agility, same as always. Easy work, but you notice the pattern. The harder the fight, the bigger the base jump. The ability points are yours to control. The base growth is the system rewarding something else entirely. You don't fully understand it, but you notice it. You spend the next 2 weeks pushing. Dungeon contracts no guild wants, undermanned gates, unstable mana readings, jobs that pay badly because the risk doesn't make sense for anyone trying to survive long term. You take them because survival long term isn't the point right now. Level up, 5 points, all into agility, every time, no hesitation. Your reflexes start flirting before your eyes register movement. You wake up at 4 a.m. already tense, already ready looking for something to react to. The screen sends you something new. You read it 3 times. Stand up. You activate it without thinking. One moment, you're at the kitchen counter. The next, you're at the front door. 8 feet in 0.8 seconds. No sensation of moving, no transition, just there and then there. Then you activate it again and again until the stamina bar empties. Flash step. 6 months of every ability point going into agility. Every dungeon, every near death, every fight you had no business walking out of. All of it was building towards this. You eat standing at the counter. You don't taste the food. You're thinking about what the Agility 300 feels like, what Flash Step becomes when the number behind it is twice what it is now. The answer comes the next morning, not from the system, from a job posting. B rank gate, unstable mana readings, 2 guilds already declined the contract, estimated threat level severe, pay 4 times standard rate. You look at your stat screen. You think about the Shadow Wolf, about 3 hunters dying in the first 60 seconds, about 11% on a bar you didn't have a name for. You apply for the contract. You sign the liability waiver without reading it, handed it back to the guild rep, and walked through the gate before he finished saying good luck. The air changes immediately. Every dungeon has a smell. E-rank gates smell like damp stone and something faintly metallic. This one smells like something burnt, like the air itself has been under pressure for too long and finally gave. The dungeon is wide, high ceiling, long corridors that branch in 3 directions and disappear into dark. You keep to the wall, slow your breathing. Let your ears do the work your eyes can't. A shape moves at the end of the left corridor. You don't move toward it. You wait. It moves again, closer. You catch the outline before you catch the detail. Large, low to the ground, moving with the kind of patience that means it already knows you're here. It steps into the dim light from the gate behind you. Not a wolf, not a goblin, something scaled, four-limbed, two built for movement, two built for killing. A jaw that opens wider than it should. You look at it, it looks at you. You activate Flash Step. You come out of it 10 feet to its left, already moving. The creature's head tracks you, fast, faster than the shadow wolf, but not fast enough. You're already behind it before it finishes turning. Knife to the neck, same technique as the wolf, except this time it doesn't work. The scales deflect the knife. You feel it catch but not hold. The creature spins faster than anything that size should spin, and you take the edge of its weapon limb across the ribs. You hit the far wall hard. 2 seconds where you can't breathe. Just cold stone against your back and the creature recalibrating across the room, and the stamina bar dropping fast. You push off the wall before your lungs fully reinflate. Scales. The neck isn't the weak point on this one. You watch it move. 4 limbs, 2 for movement, 2 for attack. When it lunges, it plants the movement limbs and frees the weapon limbs. There's a half-second window where its weight shifts forward and the underbelly is exposed. Half a second. At agility 159, that's enough. Maybe. It lunges. You drop. Flash step underneath, knife up. The underbelly is softer. The knife goes deep. The creature screams. A sound you feel in your back teeth. It thrashes and you roll clear. Knife still in hand. Blood on your forearm that you're fairly sure it's yours. The Chaos Lizard is hurt, but not slowing the way the Shadow Wolf did. It's moving differently now, lower, more controlled. It learned something from the last exchange. So did you. Watch the movement limbs. When it's about to strike, it roots them and shifts weight forward. That's the tell. That's the half second. It shifts. You move first. Flash step sideways along the wall, letting it commit to empty air. It overcorrects, one limb scraping stone. And in the moment it takes to rebalance, you're already at its flank, driving the knife into the same wound, deeper this time. The creature drops to 2 limbs, then 1. You walk toward it slowly, one clean strike to the base of the skull. It drops. Base stat up, 5 points on top, all into agility. The next corridor is where things almost end. 2 of them. Same species, same rank, same patience. Waiting at opposite ends of the same hall like they've done this before. Like they planned it. You stop at the entrance and look at both of them and do the math. 18% stamina. 2 B ranks. No room to circle. The math doesn't work. You run the corridor anyway. What follows is 40 seconds you will never fully remember. Not because it's fast, but because your brain stops narrating and your body takes over completely. Flash step at 18% means rationing. 1 burst, make it count, recover, repeat. The first lizard gets a knife to the underbelly in the first 5 seconds. The second one catches you with a weapon limb across the left shoulder. A hit that would have taken your arm off 6 months ago and now just spins you sideways into the wall. You use the wall, push off, come in low on the second one from the direction it isn't watching. 2 strikes, it drops. You're on the dungeon floor, back against the wall, stamina bar at 4%. Both Chaos Lizards dead in front of you. You breathe. Base stat up, 5 points on top, all into agility. You step back through the gate at 8:40 a.m. The guild rep is still there, drinking coffee. He looks at you, looks at the blood on your jacket, looks at the fact that you're alone and upright. You want more contracts like this? Yeah, you say. I do. You pull up the stat screen on the drive home. 6 months ago, it was 74, a number that made no sense in a parking lot, and you decided to trust it anyway, 5 points at a time, every level, every fight, every near death. But at Agility 203, with Flash Step and 200 hours of near-death experience in dungeons that should have killed you, you're starting to become something the rank system doesn't have a category for. The screen sends one final notification. You read it once. You don't need to read it twice. There's a high B rank gate 3 cities over, abnormal mono readings, unstable interior, 4 guilds declined. The kind of contract that gets people killed. The kind of contract that gets you stronger. You're about to put the car in drive when the screen flickers. A new notification, one you've never seen before. You stare at it for a long time. The system has been with you for 6 months. It gave you stats. It gave you levels. It gave you Flash Step and Blur, and a reason to walk into dungeons that should have killed you. It has never hidden anything from you until now. You put the car in drive.